Hey guys, Daniel here for another video. This is my review of the Hateful Eight on Blu-ray. This was just released today, March 29th. It just came out where I live here in the US. I picked this up at Target. This is the Target exclusive. And before I get into the Blu-ray and all the extras that it comes with and whatnot, I will review the film because when this film came out last year, I didn't do a review on it, and I felt like I should have because I loved this movie. When I saw it in theaters, this was easily one of my new favorite Tarantino films. This is actually, when I think about it, probably my second or third favorite movie that he's done. And I know this may sound a little crazy because this is such a newer film, but this is honestly one of my favorite movies ever now. It's one of the best movies I've seen in a really long time, especially from Tarantino. I love Django Unchained, and I thought that was a phenomenal movie, but I think this was much, much better. The only film I know for sure that I like better than this is Pulp Fiction, as far as Tarantino films go. I mean, it's hard to say between this and Reservoir Dogs and Kill Bill and Django Unchained. I love all of those movies so much, and I like all his other movies. I haven't disliked any of his movies, but between like what takes my number two or my number three spot, it teeter totters between this and Reservoir Dogs, and this was either my favorite or second favorite film of the year. I'm kind of indecisive about it between this and Star Wars Episode 7, which wasn't a perfect movie, but I really enjoyed it. This I felt almost was. This was near perfect. This is one of the best whodunit films I've ever seen. If really in if you think of other Tarantino films, this almost is like a mix between Reservoir Dogs and Django Unchained. Even the sound mixing and the special effects and the editing and the atmosphere of the film, the time period that it's set in, it has a real Django Unchained feel to it. This takes place a couple years after the Civil War, whereas the Django Unchained took place a couple years before. I love Tarantino's westerns. I hope he does more because I have not had a problem. I don't have a single problem with this movie, and really I love Django Unchained. I think that was quite excellent too. That was my favorite movie of the year it came out, and this might be my favorite movie of the year it came out. I don't know, either this or Star Wars Episode 7, but anyway, this is some of Tarantino's best characters. Samuel L. Jackson is oh so amazing in this movie. Right up there with James Winfield, or Jules Winfield, sorry, from Pulp Fiction, his character in Pulp Fiction. I loved seeing some of the other Quentin Tarantino regulars return. Like Kurt Russell came back. He was in Death Proof. Tim Roth was in Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs, and he was in Four Rooms, which Tarantino directed one of the scenes in Four Rooms, but he didn't direct the whole movie. Michael Madsen, who we hadn't seen in a Tarantino film since Kill Bill 2, or Volume 2, whatever you want to say. Walter Goggins, if I'm not mistaken, he was in Django Unchained. I don't recognize Demian Bichir, you know, Bub, or Bruce Dern. I don't recognize those two. They may have been in other films of his. James Parks, I know Michael Parks has been in other Tarantino films, but I don't know if James Parks has. Channing Tatum is in this film. Zoe Bell, who was also in Death Proof with Kurt Russell, is in this movie, and it was great to see her again. I think she's a really underrated actress. Doesn't get as much work as she should be getting. And Jennifer Jason Leigh, we know her from Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Much different film for her. I know I've seen other movies with her in them, but the only two that really come to mind are this and Fast Times at Ridgemont High. So yeah, great characters. It's Tarantino dialogue. He wrote and directed the film, so I mean, I think Tarantino, not only is he my favorite director, but he's my favorite screenwriter. His dialogue, I could listen to it all day. I could listen to his characters sit down and have a discussion with each other for hours on end. I love it. It's great. I love it, every single minute of it. Yeah, great movie, what can I say? Oh, this film was shot in 65 millimeter and was projected in 70 millimeter when it was released theatrically. And when I saw it in theaters, you could really tell. You could tell it was not a digitally shot film, which is great. I loved the look and feel to this movie. It is a little uh, digitified, if you want to say that, because it has been transferred to Blu-ray, and it's a little harder to pick up on. But seeing it in theaters, it was very obvious, and it was very, very interesting. I loved seeing that. Uh, he really, Tarantino, he knows what he's doing when it comes to visuals. He's not one to use digital. He's always. I don't think he's done a digital film to this day. I think everything he's done was in film. The only one that may not have been was Inglorious Bastards, and even that I think was digital or film. Sorry. So yeah, that's enough about the movie. The movie is great. It's near perfect. 5 stars, obviously. I think it's one that everyone should check out. It was nominated for 3 Academy Awards. I think Samuel L. Jackson should have been nominated for Best Actor because he did such a great job. But yeah, that's the film. Love it. Check it out. The Blu-ray, this is the Target exclusive. If you notice, it has a lenticular slipcase. That's one thing that differs from the standard Blu-ray release. But another thing that's different. Uh-oh. I left the movie disc inside my Xbox One. I'll grab that really quick. There we go. Of course, it comes with your digital copy and your DVD and the Blu-ray, obviously. But it also comes with a bonus disc. This is kind of like the Django Unchained DVD, the Walmart exclusive. It came with its own disc with like one little feature. It's The Hateful Eight, an inside look at Tarantino's 8th film, which I haven't watched actually. I will for sure. But that's just, for that alone, this is easily worth buying the Target exclusive, and it's the same price. I mean, it was $22.99 at Target, but I work at Target, so I got a discount on it. But it's the same exact price as the regular release. So why not buy this? Because it's better. It has a lenticular cover, and it has a bonus disc with another little featurette. The only thing that I did watch, other than the film, I watched it again I bought it today, and I watched it again today, and I loved it even more. And like I said, the only thing I actually got a chance to check out today was the Guide to Glorious 70 millimeter. It was hosted by Samuel L. Jackson. It pretty much like went into like the old school days of like, the road shows, and like back when films, you would go to a movie, they would hand you a program. There were intermissions. Tarantino was all about the old days when movies used to do stuff like that. And it went into like, how Ben-Hur would do that, and how like at Panavision, they will screen Ben-Hur on one of the biggest screens in the U.S. And it would be in its original aspect ratio. And also, it talked about how The Hateful Eight was the 11th film to utilize the Panavision widescreen lenses, and I forget what the aperture was, or I don't know if it was aperture, but the range, like the range number on them. But apparently, it's the widest lens ever created, and this is only the 11th film to use it, and it has not been used since the film Cartoon, which had, Charlton Heston and Olivier, old school movie. So this was the first film in a really long time to do that, and I thought it really worked. I love the wide angle shots of like out in the mountains and like the snow, like stuff like that. I love that kind of stuff. It really is beautifully shot. Actually, one of the Oscars that this film was nominated for was Best Cinematography, and I think that's wise because it looked so good, and it was shot. I think Tarantino, this was one of his best filmmaking decisions, was to shoot on Panavision widescreens, because it looked phenomenal. And when you mix that with a 65 millimeter and you project it in 70 millimeter, it makes it even better. So that was an interesting bonus feature. It also comes with a behind the scenes look, and the Target exclusive disc as well. So that's the Blu-ray. It looks and sounds phenomenal. Great movie. Everyone should check it out. I strongly recommend it. So that is my review of The Hateful Eight, the film, and the Blu-ray. Go check it out. It's available in stores now. Just got released today. Thank you for watching my newest video, and see you later in the next one.